Okay.
Talk it up, talk it up, talk it up. You already know what it is, baby.
What's Gucci, people? How we darn? How we darn? How's everybody darn?
Gangsta Grills, you bastard. HotNewHipHop.com.
What are we, DJs? What's up, Trippy? Say what's up in the chat if you're with us, if you're down to mock. Thanks for joining us today. It is a Wednesday here in Sydney, Australia. It is a Tuesday there in America. Trippy says, I want Zach's wife to draft this league team, specifically the league that I'm in. I love that. There is a poll right now. And if we hit the like goal, which is 75 likes, I have to do whatever the like goal says, which is either let my wife draft the team for me, which we will live stream, or shave my beard. I think I would rather shave my beard, actually, to be honest. I think I would rather do that.
I think you do that like every other day, so.
No, I trim it. I don't shave it. I trim it.
Kind of a cop
bro.
out.
You gotta keep it manscaped. Not a sponsor. No longer a sponsor. No beef. Just didn't work out. Harrison, what's up, bro? He said, who made the beat? I like the beat in the pre-lobby. Hey. The pre-lobby.
Yeah, we got to connect, you know. You can't really tell you right now, but we got to connect, you know.
I'm pretty sure we found it for free. What's up, Ravers? Really, Dave, are you actually headed to the Combine? That's amazing. You're going to watch it? That's really, really cool. I'm extremely jealous of you.
Watch the Combine. Wait, what's that?
I'm pretty sure you can get tickets to go to the Combine. That's unreal. I would love to go.
Take a photo with somebody.
Yeah, definitely. Take a photo with...
Take a photo with Jerome Ford and tell him that Badaki said that he will be the best running back in the NFL in the next 2 years.
No, take a photo with Sky Moore and just let him know that I believe in him.
Nah, he should.
No, he's not. Apparently, Dave goes every year. That's awesome. What's up, cousin David? What's up, dudes? Thanks for joining us. Okay, guys. So if you are curious, what is going on right now, Badaki? What are we doing? Like, tell the people what's happening.
Yeah, we're doing a Dynasty Startup mock draft here with our community. If you want to be a part of this, it's super simple, super easy. Join our Discord, and we will be sending the link out in our Discord here in a few minutes. If you want to join the Discord, I'm pretty sure that is linked or pinned in the chat. If not, it's in the description below on the solo.to/fantasylandfootball. So come through.
Yes, come through. How does everyone feel about this
How the-
white sleeper board? Is it too weird? Is it too weird to do the white sleeper board?
Oh gosh, that looks terrible.
Does it look bad? Let me know. Should we go? Should we go back to the dark mode? I just thought I'd switch it up, but maybe it looks awful. I don't know. Let me know. So this will be a 12-team Dynasty SuperFlex startup. Everyone here will have a chance to get in. Again, join the Discord link, which is in the description. Everyone's saying go dark mode. Okay, I tried. Fair enough. Back to the dark mode. Back to what we know and love here. Don says Jerome Ford is a stud. Quote Nation is in here. No one voted for white. Not a single person. So fair enough. I mean, dark mode it is. I actually think it looks better as well. But I was like, let's just switch it up. But you can't ruin something that's already really, really good. I wanted to say something quickly on the combine. I think what Badaki and I have decided to do is, we're just gonna go live and show you the combine at the same time. Now, this is not, I don't know that this is legal. I think it is illegal. I think the stream will be taken down, but
After.
it will probably be taken down after we go live. So what we're going to do is we're going to say YOLO. I mean, our account isn't over 1,000 subs yet, so I don't think enough people are going to care. I mean, watch, we're probably going to be the only account on YouTube who has it live streamed, and then we're going to get taken down. But we've come to the conclusion that YOLO. We're going to show you the stream and comment on it at the same time. And if the stream gets taken down, it gets taken down. But it's going to be a lot of just hanging out. There will be a lot of dead zones. So you have to be aware of that. And yeah, Trippy, that's what we're going to do. We're going to delete the video afterwards because no one's going to want to rewatch, us just commenting on the combine. They probably just want to watch combine highlights. So I'm hoping that this doesn't affect our account. I don't think it will.
I think we'll be all right, hopefully.
If YouTube gets taken down, I know Twitch won't get taken down. So anyway, regardless, we will be showing the combine your Thursday night. And we're going to be commenting on it. A lot of dead zones, a lot of just kind of waiting for the guys that we like. But still, if you want to come out and hang, it might be a long stream.
Conversation. Yeah, just it's exciting.
Yeah, it will be fun. I mean, we're just excited to watch. I think there's so many people at the combine, but we're excited to watch probably 70% of them. Maybe that's too much. Garrett, thanks for joining us, brother. All right, guys, 33 people watching the stream means a lot. Again, we have a like goal of 75 likes. That is very ambitious. With your help, we might be able to get there. Currently at 26. Drop a like if you want to see me do whatever the poll ends up being. Either letting my wife draft a league for me or shaving my beard. Thanks for joining us. Trippy is asking, when is that going to happen? I'm assuming you're asking about the combine. That will be Thursday night in America. So Thursday night, whenever the combine starts, we'll have to double check. We will be live for it, covering it.
Yeah, we'll put an event
might
up
get taken down, but who knows? We'll give info in the Discord too.
Yeah, in the Discord, exactly. So just stay tuned for that. It should be in the next day or two.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. So as you know, we are here to do a Dynasty startup draft, and there will be 12 spots. Shout out to Emiliano. He hasn't been able to get into one of these drafts before. He sent us a message about 30 minutes before we did this, said, hey, I haven't been able to get in. Can I? And we sent him the link because we always want to do that for you guys. We always want to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to be a part of this. We can't send you the link every time, but for those who haven't been able to be a part of it, we will always send you the link, at least for the first time, to make sure you get a chance to join. Now, this is a Dynasty SuperFlex startup draft with rookies. Badaki, one last time before we send the link out, how can people join?
Yes, Discord. Join our Discord. It's either pinned in this chat above or in the description below on the solo.to link /fantasy football. Go there, join the Discord, go to Dynasty Damn It and Dynasty Mock Drafts. That's where we'll be posting the links for all of our mock drafts, whether it's just rookies or Dynasty startups. So come through, and I'll be sending the link out here soon.
Garrett said I just bought a new PC Saturday and it's coming tomorrow. I'm hyped. I'm gonna upgrade my hacks. I love that, Garrett. Honestly, Badaki and I switched from Mac to PC like what, a year and a half ago. Well,
Yeah.
maybe a year ago, and it was the best thing I ever did. Like, I love Mac. I worked for Apple, but PC is just so much cheaper, and it makes our editing, our production, I mean, whatever production we do, right? It just makes it so much quicker. I mean, I would export videos and it would take 2 hours, and on my PC it takes like 10 minutes. So
Yeah,
anyway,
you should look at. I mean, it's pretty embarrassing, but you should look at how we started off
no,
in the Fantasyland football.
don't look at our
You know,
main channel. Our first
and
video
the
is
other
tough.
channel and go all the way to our old videos. You're like, what the f? It's terrible.
Honestly, I watched our first video on our main channel, and I thought to myself, who the hell would watch this? Who the hell would have stayed to watch this?
It was really bad.
Emiliano says, got a draft Friday at 9 a.m. Emiliano, did you comment on one of them before and ask for advice and I messaged you, said join us? I don't know if that's how we got that connection. Alan, what's up, my guy? He says, so hard to get the link on Patreon. I feel a little dumb. What do you mean by that,
Alan, so the link should be from in the solo.to here. I'll put it in the...
I'll paste a link to our Patreon in case you want to find our Patreon if you have any questions about it. But since we're going to quickly talk about it, on our Patreon, you can play in a league with us. You can get our rookie rankings, our dynasty rankings. Did someone just sign up?
I didn't see anything.
So you can get our rookie rankings. You can get our dynasty rankings. You can get, obviously, play in a league with us. You get the fancy hotline, which is a direct line to us. So have a look at those tiers if you're interested in any of that. But let's do what we came here to do, Badaki. Why don't we go ahead and send that link? What's up, John? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, brother? I think I might have sent you a trade if you want to trade.
John?
Probably a long time ago.
By the way, Alan, if you have any questions about Patreon, just message us on Discord, the Fantasy Then Football account. We'd be happy to reply to any questions.
All right, I'm about to send the link here. 3, 2, a little pause there. Yeah, John, I'm definitely sending you. Oh, I didn't send you a trade. I asked you if you were interested in Clyde, which I doubt you were. All right. 3, 2. Here we go.
Let's see. The link has been sent.
Nearly 300 people in this on our Discord, which is pretty
Really
cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Discord's growing then.
Well, it looks like we're full. Ryan, Dave, Gary with the hacks.
All right, we have some new people in.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever mocked with X Salmon. Salmon.
No, we haven't.
You guys say salmon or salmon? Salmon.
Salmon.
Josiah.
We never. We get Tupac Shakur we drafted with in 7. We have.
And obviously Emiliano, first time as well. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Alan says, I've just never used Patreon before. I need to figure it out a little more. Watch here all the time. Love you guys. Oh, appreciate that.
I appreciate it, man.
That means
appreciate
a lot,
you, brother.
man. Thanks. Kyle Fitzpatrick says, trade Joe Mixon for the 2022 107 and a 23 first. Yes, in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, I would do that.
That's just too much value to pass up on. Love Mixon, but you can't pass that value up. All right, 12-team SuperFlex Dynasty Startup. This is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flex spots, a super flex, and then we got the benches. This is not tight end premium. It is PPR. It is super flex. 60 seconds on the clock, and then we will change it to 30 seconds. So we're not here for 13 days. Ryan is on the clock at the 1-1.
Here we go. It's going to be so nerve-wracking when real drafts happen. You know, like we did so many mock drafts last year, and I still felt like I was unprepared.
I felt really good about my draft last year, to be honest. I was just excited.
Yeah,
more than anything, I was just excited.
Maybe that's what it was. I was just really excited, but I just felt very unprepared. And
wow.
Okay, we will turn that sound off until the quarterbacks go off the board. Josh Allen at the 1-1. It's pretty much been Allen or Mahomes at the 1-1. And now we see Herbert at the 1-2 and then Mahomes at the 1-3. Yeah, that's not going to surprise me, to be honest, if we start to see Herbert or Burrow go before Mahomes. I still think, like, Mahomes is still my quarterback 1, but I think you can make a case for whoever you want to take in the first 3.
Let's see if Salmon goes JT or another quarterback here.
You're trying to influence him here, I think.
Some people like to Switch it up.
You're like, I think you should go JT, bro. I think you should go
You
JT.
should go JT. 7 says, I feel prepared for drafts, just worried about how many other made draft in my real draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. People
Oh, yes.
people sometimes draft the way they do in mocks. Other times they try strategies. So it's always the what am I trying to say? The most accurate way to know what's going to happen in your drafts is to mock with real people. You know, the sleeper ADP can only do so much. Okay, so Kyler at the 1-4, then Joe Burrow at the 1-5. So let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so Jonathan Taylor goes off the board. That makes my decision a lot easier. I am going to go with Lamar Jackson. I am of the belief that if you can get one of these top 6 quarterbacks, you should grab one of them before
100%.
before the other positions go off the board. And I guess I'll just say quickly, I always say it, sound like a broken record, but the longevity between running backs and quarterbacks is massively different. You look at top running backs even 3 years ago, 5 years ago, they are completely different to what they look like now. So if we're building a dynasty, I always want to start with a quarterback, one of these top 6 quarterbacks if possible. I really love being at the 1-3 to the 1-6, that sort of area, because I can get one of those top guys. So I'm going to take Lamar Jackson here at the 1.7. And I think after these guys go, then I think you can justify taking, one of these other positional players. Again, just my opinion. I understand why people are insanely in love with JT at this point.
Yeah. And then it makes sense there. Jamar Chase goes first wide receiver off the board, connected to my quarterback now at the 1-5, Joe Burrow. And maybe we'll see another wide receiver go.
Yeah. Alan says at this point it seems it could be either Mahomes or Allen, just personal preference. Does big play and big game bonus lean in favor of Mahomes? I think they both are in the same category there as far as big play, and I guess maybe big play would lean in favor of Mahomes because of the weapons around him. But big game would lean in favor of both of them, to be honest. All right, so we see Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and then Najee Harris at the 110. Wow. Trey Lance at the 111. I think all these spots make sense so far, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah, 100% there goes Dak. And I feel like this is the most quarterbacks we've seen go in the first round. Usually, you see from the 1-8 down is usually like running back, wide receiver. They try to go.
But I think it makes sense, to be honest. I think it makes sense where all these quarterbacks went. We see Javonte and Kyle Pitts. This is not tight end premium, but I personally don't see that as a reach. I think you can take Kyle Pitts that high. A lot of people aren't going to like that. But the reality is if Team 11 here wants Kyle Pitts, there's absolutely no way he's coming back to him at the 311. So on the edges, you do have to reach for guys that you love. And Pitts is someone that I think a lot of us are undervaluing because he didn't have the Jamar Chase rookie year.
7, it looks like I'm sleeping. I looked at myself too because I have my screen on there, and that's why I was like, it looks like I'm sleeping.
I think he's talking about Dak Prescott.
Oh, I thought he talked about me. I looked at my face on screen I have my face on the screen on the right side.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I look like I'm sleeping, bro. I need to change
Connor said you guys did a great job with the new video. Thanks, man. That was actually really fun. And
yeah, good idea. I think that was your idea.
It was Connor's idea. So shout out to you for the idea. I will say to everyone here who hasn't watched that video yet, it's definitely going to be worth your time to go watch it. What we did is we essentially broke down our dynasty teams. We chose one of our dynasty teams, broke it down. What did it look like last year, and what moves have we made this year to get where we currently are? So we show you the trades, the directions. We explain why we made those moves. I think it's actually a really fun idea. I've not seen many people do that, but a lot of people seem to be loving it. So go check that out after you watch this. Jerry says taking Javonte over Swift may be a mistake. Hey, Jerry, I mean, I'm going to disagree with you there. Javonte is actually my RB2. However, I think you can make a case for Swift. I would take 100%. Javonte personally, but I understand why people would say that.
I think when it comes down to Najee, Javonte, and Swift, I feel like there's no wrong answer. I think the production that you can probably get is the
Right.
same. I feel like Javante is not necessarily utilized in the pass game as much as Swift or Najee. Um, but I think all these three guys are top quality running backs and are going to get the workload.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so I'm on the board here, and you know what? I'm gonna go Jalen Waddle here. I don't think it's any surprise, but I'm gonna take Jalen Waddle here. That makes him the 5th wide receiver off the board. He's my wide receiver 4. I do prefer going wide receivers over running backs. I'll take running back shots later on. I'll fill that with trades or rookie drafts. So that's the kind of thought process there for me.
Okay. Okay. Let me look at my wide receivers. Okay. I think this is it's really simple for me.
Okay.
I'm adjusting. Actually, it's between Justin Fields and Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson is playing, I think I'm taking Deshaun Watson over Justin Fields every single day. But I mean, just for this case, Justin Fields, I know he will be the starter next year.
Okay.
So I'll take Joe Burrow and Justin Fields.
Okay.
Sorry to influence the draft, but just to be completely honest, like
Yeah.
if Deshaun Watson is playing, he's going in the top 5. I think where Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson are going, in my opinion.
I don't think he goes top 5, but I think he probably goes after Lance.
I don't think so.
I think he probably goes from the 110 to the 2-3 in that area. I don't think he goes top 5, but I could be wrong.
I think he goes a lot higher. I think he's still talented. He's only 26 years old, 25 years old, something like that. So and we know the talent with Deshaun. I think he will get stuck in somewhere around there potentially from 5, 6, 7. Could be wrong. We got to see it once we find out. But
fair enough. All right, Kenny said, "What's up, guys? What's up, Kenny? Thanks for joining us, Kenny." Rose says, "I feel like the positional at tight end with Pitts, even in non-tight end premium, is important in Dynasty as the elite tier 1 tight ends age out." I agree, Ron. I do. Or Ron, called you Ron. Ro, I agree. A lot of people are going to view Pitts as a reach there. I don't think it is. I mean, we're talking about a generational tight end who could probably set that crucial position for you for a decade. So I'm definitely okay with that being the pick there. Javonte is Garrett's RB2 as well. I'm not high on Najee as everyone else. I get that. Ro meant to say positional advantage. Kenny Powers says, waiting to hear about Gordon before trusting Javonte in the top 15. Top 15?
Bro, I think that
Kenny in the top 15 in Dynasty rankings?
Okay, maybe not top 15, but it's a huge conversation.
Oh my goodness.
I was saying this off stream. I was like, if he gets re-signed, Melvin is already talking about not wanting to take a step back. So is the workload going to be the same as this past year? And if it is,
it's not going to work. It's not going to work because if you're taking a running back as high as the Broncos took him, they traded up to get him, almost took him in the first round. It was the beginning of the second. These are the prime years for a running back. You don't waste these prime years. So if Melvin's back, he is going to take a back seat, in my opinion. And I don't think he wants to do that. So he's not going to be back. I mean, as much as the Texans have said we want Deshaun Watson back, doesn't matter if you don't have the position that the player wants. If Melvin wants to be a workhorse, he's not going to be a workhorse in Denver. He'll be a part of the backfield, but it will be the Javonte show. Maybe it's a 60-40, but I don't see Melvin being the guy going forward.
I think that's he wants the workload. I think that's what the workload is. 60-40s. Melvin's happy with that. He's not trying to take a back seat where Javonte is going to be on the field the majority of the time, and he's just going to come in and be a reliever. Right. He wants the 60-40. He wants the 70-30. He does 50-50.
He doesn't want to do that though.
No, I think the 60-40 is enough for him. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't want to take a back seat.
He's already publicly said that he doesn't want to take a back seat.
Yeah, but what's a back seat is him getting less than what he did this past year. I think he was happy with what he got this year.
Well, I'll just say this. I think worrying about Javonte Williams because of a 29-year-old running back, I just think that's a little bit short-sighted in my opinion. I can definitely respect the opinion. It might hurt him this year, but we're talking about a player who is already 2 years younger than Najee Harris in Javonte Williams, who has already had like 300 less carries in his career than Najee Harris. So for me, I'm not too worried about Javonte, but I understand people's concerns. Yeah. All right, so Cooper Kupp goes off the board, then Stafford. So team 1 has the little stack there. Trevor Lawrence at the 211, pretty early for Trevor, Dave. Love to hear your thoughts on him. It sounds like you believe in obviously taking him here at the 211. Then Debo, Higgins, and Hill. I was optimistic that somehow Higgins would fall to me, but again, optimism doesn't really mean anything.
I'm stuck between a hard
bleak.
place here. I'm just gonna go comfortable. I'm gonna go Elijah Moore.
All right, Elijah Moore at the 3-5. A lot of people don't like that, Badaki. People are going to be commenting, watching this later, telling you that you made a terrible pick.
I already know who's available right now. I have him on my queue. The reason why I'm not taking him is because I think that quarterback is going to be gone, in my personal opinion. But anyways, Connor says, I agree with Badaki. If Watson wants to trade and was 100% playing, it can see people taking him over Burrow. I think so as well. I know you're on the clock here, so I just stop as you continue.
Yeah, I'm going to take DK here. I'm not really worried about the quarterback. We have a video coming out on DK here soon.
Exactly. So
we're on opposing opinions here on DK. I just don't think you find this kind of talent in the NFL very often, and I think he did prove that he can be successful without Russ this year. Andrew's at the 3-6. Is that too high?
I don't know. I personally think it's, you know how I feel about tight ends. You know, you either go for the big guys or you're gonna wait. Yeah. Mark Andrews. I think from anywhere from the 2-2. I think anywhere in the third round actually is okay to take Mark Andrews. After that, I'm willing to wait a long time to get a tight end.
Okay.
But I think these other positional players could be. It feels like more important to me. Like I would have rather taken AJ Brown over Kyle Pitts potentially. You know, Jalen Waddle over Kyle Pitts. Even a quarterback over Kyle Pitts. I know he's a generational talent, but I see that conversation very different.
For sure. Jerry says Swift is his dynasty RB3. I can understand where you're coming from there. He's my RB4, so I'm not far off from you. Lewis doesn't like you taking him over DK.
Oh, wait.
I don't like it either.
Over DK. Look, I think it's best for me explained in that video that's going to come out. I love DK. I love his talent. No doubt about it. My biggest question to you is, can he be fantasy relevant with any quarterback coming through? We don't know. Yes. But, you know, I think for me that answer is no. But that's explained in the video. So
easy. Kenny is referring to Seven's comment. He said, imagine trying to trade for Javonte once Gordon is gone. And that's a very good point. I mean, we're talking about a 29-year-old running back. That doesn't worry me too much. It wouldn't stop me from drafting him, is what I'm saying. Russell Wilson at the 3-9, I think that's really great value. Then we see Dobbins and Gibson off the board, as well as Deontay Johnson and DJ Moore. You know, I'm not a big Deontay Johnson lover. I would sell him high at this point, but I understand taking him here at the 3-12. Then we see Devonta Smith at the 4-2. No surprises at this point.
No, none. No,
I'm just trying to see if there's anyone else I would have drafted ahead of him. Maybe there's one or two guys I would have drafted ahead of him, but I can understand where everyone's coming from here.
Garrett says T or DK?
DK, then T. They're back-to-back in my rankings. I have DK as my wide receiver 6, T as my wide receiver 7.
Goes Tua off the board there, the 4-3.
No great. Way, really? Dang.
Yeah.
I was hoping Tua was going to fall to me at the 4-6. Normally he doesn't go that high in these mocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get for betting on the drop.
Lewis says, "Oh my God, Devontae falls a lot." Yeah, I think people are more skeptical on taking, you know, the question marks. You know, of Devontae
Smith. Hate the quarterback that he's connected to. For fantasy, I don't hate him as a person. But I think at that point, like, that's pretty good value there at the 4-2.
Is he talking about Devonta Smith? I think he's talking about Devontae Adams. There he goes. I think he was talking about Devontae Adams.
Oh, I just don't think many people want to invest into him at this point.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think, like, the question marks were, is Aaron Rodgers coming back? Is Where is he going? Does he go on another team? I mean, there's a lot of rumors. So I think once we know where he's going to be and who's going to be his quarterback, then we have a better understanding. And that goes for a lot of these wide receivers. The Chris Godwins, the Calvin Ridleys. You're on the clock here,
I
so I don't
know,
know
yeah.
if you want to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make a decision here on what I'm going to do. Got my 2 wide receivers. There are wide receivers on the board that I still love. I'm going to maybe potentially reach here and grab a quarterback that I'm not in love with, but I still like, Mac Jones. I'm going to grab
Brother
him here at
Mac.
the 4-6. I actually put him ahead of Zach Wilson in my rankings quite recently. So Mac is my quarterback 15. Was really hoping that Tua would fall to me at the 4-6. I would be much more comfortable with Tua, but can't complain getting Mac Jones. I mean, best quarterback this year. I'm not saying he will be as a rookie this year. I'm not saying he will be the best of the rookie bunch, but I never feel good when I don't get a second quarterback that I feel like I can trust. So
Yeah, I'm thinking about these wide receivers and who I should go with. Joe Moneybag Burrows.
yeah, Devontae does fall, and I'll just say this: like, no one's gonna debate taking Devontae in the first round of a redraft. In Dynasty, I just don't think people want to build their team around Devontae Adams, and I think that's fair to say. At the 4-5, I think it makes sense. I mean, would I have wanted to build my team around Adams over guys like DJ Moore or Deontay or Devonta Smith? I know Adams is going to be probably the better wide receiver for the next 2 years, but do you know what I mean? It's this conversation everyone's having in their head, which forces him to fall,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jerry says it's actually the reason you can't trade for Javonte. All owners are banking on Gordon leaving. It's easier trading for Swift. I don't know. I feel like Swift is untouchable in the leagues that I've tried to trade for him, but that could just be our leagues. I feel like both Swift and Javonte, you can't trade for these guys, but maybe our leagues view Swift a little bit differently. I don't know. I think both Javonte and Swift are in that category where if you want them, you're going to have to give up the world for them. Burks at the 4-7. So he becomes the first rookie wide receiver off the board. Then you took Diggs. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I took Diggs. I think the guy that I wanted, I'm testing out. I'm testing out the market here. There's a guy there's 2 people I would have taken over him.
Yeah.
I do believe they're gonna fall to me, which is okay. We'll see. This is why we mock, because I usually wouldn't take Diggs here because he's 28 years old. I think he's the second to last year on his contract. It'll be a little bit hard to sell. He was, I think, one of my sell highs as well. In Dynasty.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, so I'm seeing what people are gonna do here because if I can get this guy in the 5th, excuse me, then maybe I could have taken another guy where Stephon Diggs goes.
Drake London at the 4-11. So we're starting to see some of these wide receivers go off the board. Is it too high? Maybe we're all a little bit rookie crazed. I mean, we still have some wide receivers on the board who are proven commodities. I mean, Michael Pittman for me, I'm a little bit confused how he was still available at the 5-1.
That was one of the guys that was on my list.
I probably would have taken him as early as the beginning of the 4th. So I just don't know. I think Pittman has proved himself. So I probably would have taken him, but I think you can make a case for these rookies. Will they have years like Michael Pittman? It's hard to say,
Yeah. Definitely hard to say.
Stream is lagging. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
It just stopped. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, Michael Pittman. That was a guy that I was hoping to come back to me to see how that goes. Okay, that's one more.
I was gonna say I don't think the guys that like these wide receivers.
No, I still have one more guy because if these guys didn't come back to me, then I have another person that I would have taken and then at a different position. But we'll see. Okay.
Garrett said he thought that Pittman would have fallen. Yeah, for me, I mean, guys like Pittman, I'm taking over. I mean, I'm probably taking over all the rookies at this point, but I understand why. Maybe maybe
well.
Burks, you can make a case for it.
So this is the way I would have went
Mm,
if I and this is why I tried it out. So I would have taken Pittman or St. Brown at the 4-8, and
okay.
then I would have gotten my first running back in Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
Um, I just wanted to see how it fell out, how it panned out, because he was falling, and I was trying to sneak it with the ADP, to be honest, because the ADP had him low.
Okay. Right. I get that.
But it's all good. It's for fun.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Godwin, by the way, there's reports. I mean, it's from a fan account. They cover the Bucks, but there's reports that he's going to stay. I don't know that we can really guarantee that at this point. Would Godwin want to stay? Would he not want to go? I mean, I guess the team is pretty complete outside of quarterback. Maybe it's difficult to know what he want to do. What I do know for sure is that he definitely wants guaranteed money. He does not want to be on that tag anymore. You know.
Yeah, and Godwin can be in that transition phase. Um,
Mm,
of being that wide receiver one, because what's Mike Evans' contract look like?
right.
Um, Let me just pull that up. Oh my gosh. Mike Evans contract. He's not a restrict. He's will be in free agent until 2024. So he has another 2 years on his contract, essentially.
I'm just on the clock here now, and I probably would have gone wide receiver here if there wasn't a running back that I was in love with, and Etienne is someone that I am in love with. Yes, despite the injury, I still believe in him. Loved him as a prospect, and I think the James Robertson injury just opens up even more opportunity for him. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here as my first running back at the 5-7.
Yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable with that being my first RB there.
Yeah, Trippy says, I'm very surprised Blackie took Stephon Diggs before Pittman. Absolutely. And then 7 goes Colts are now in a QB hunt, though.
They
And that
are,
was,
but I think honestly think so. Wins, yes, he made some really stupid plays, but he was pretty efficient. Like he had 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So as much as we're all clowning Wentz for like these stupid mistakes that he made, he did it. He wasn't awful. And if they do get a different quarterback, I'm assuming they're going to view it as an upgrade. So I'm seeing that in that perspective, maybe it's only up from here. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But
100%. And I think like that's what's a little bit skeptical, for me, because do they go a rookie quarterback? Do they just move on from Carson and they get a rookie quarterback that we're not in love with?
they
Do
didn't
they
even
go
have it
Sam?
first.
Yeah, yeah. Do you wait and get like a Corral in the second if he does fall, or Sam Howell, whoever, whatever the case may be?
Mm,
Then the question is Michael Pittman still going to be fantasy relevant if one of those quarterbacks go? Does he still go as early as a fifth or as a fourth round?
right.
You said you'll take him as high as a 4-1.
No, I
I would
said
be
early
questioning it.
fourth. Early
Yeah,
fourth.
I would definitely be questioning once I know who his quarterback is. If Carson Wentz comes back, cool. I'm happy where he's going right now. But if another quarterback comes in and I'm questioning that production and what he can really do, I might be taking he probably going to be dropping in my rankings a little bit.
Yeah, and we had a question about Amon-Ra. Ro was saying Amon-Ra St. Brown at the top of the fifth feels early. Is this where you're seeing him go in the community? I do think Amon-Ra is typically a fifth round. And I think, again, it just comes down to people questioning, do I want to build around this young wide receiver who, yes, hasn't proven it for a full year, or do I want to build around this other player who I know is really talented? He's getting a little bit older. Maybe his situation's unknown. There are players that I would have drafted over him that are still on the board, but I think it's constantly this battle in our minds between situation, age, and our rankings or where we think players should go. It's always a dance that we're doing in these
For me,
startups.
yeah, I view Monroe as someone that no matter where he goes, he could be fantasy relevant to me. That's how I saw it when he was coming into the league. Going to the Lions was the worst, I think, place that he could have gone, especially with Matthew
Nah,
Stafford.
at least he's got
If it,
opportunities.
I feel like if it felt that way because Jared Goff was there. What the hell is Dan Campbell? What the hell is the team going to look like?
Right.
And the whole thought process was like he was going to get the opportunity, and he did get the opportunity towards the end. And a
Right.
lot of people are kind of straying off from that because, well, it's not going to be consistent. They're going to bring in some more people. They're
Yeah.
going to take a back seat. But I know I'm the
Yeah.
opposite. Where I think he's going to continue to be the number one guy there.
Well, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that the Lions draft another wide receiver to be the X.
Agreed.
So
100%.
that could impact
100%.
him. We have to keep in mind T.J. Hawkinson wasn't on the field, Swift wasn't on the field. So those are some things to keep in mind. I mean, Swift and Hawkinson acquired a lot of targets or demanded a lot of targets, and they weren't on the field when he was going off. So there is some uncertainty there, but I do think he will be relevant. How relevant? Will we see the same sort of involvement we did last year? Probably, but it's hard to say. Rose said the hit rate on wide receivers drafted day 3 is really low. The only ones to post 2+ wide receiver 1/2 seasons are Tyreek and Diggs over the past 8 years. Yep, it's always interesting to look at where players were drafted. Oh, I really wanted Terry. Okay,
And that was a day 3 wide receiver right there too. Terry.
Terry's another day 3 wide receiver. Okay, that makes things a little bit more difficult for me because I was seeing Terry drop, and I was gonna grab him. But is Godwin still on the board?
No, Chris Godwin.
Godwin's gone by now.
He went in the
isn't
412. Yeah.
Okay, Hollywood's gone. Okay, so this is interesting now. Is there any running backs that I really love here? No, not really. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Rashad Bateman here. Rashad Bateman. Still like the talent, hoping that him and Lamar can get on the same page because he looked great towards the end of the year, but that was with Tyler Huntley. So I'm just hoping that he can continue to get implemented into the offense. I'll take him as my wide receiver 3, though, at the 6'6". I'm okay with that. And again, like there are wide receivers on the board that I know will be more relevant this year. This is the constant battle we're having, right? I know Keenan's on the board. I know Amari Cooper's on the board. I know Mike Evans is there. But do I want to build around those guys when I think they've kind of already hit the peak? It's this little dance we're all going to be doing in all these startups.
Yeah, 100%.
Steven said, I was just thinking I would rather have Ridley over Pitts or Monra. Surely not Kyle Pitts. Maybe that was an error, but I can understand where you're coming from with the Monra. Dave says Det was one of the best spots. Detroit was one of the best spots as far as I can see. Yeah, as far as opportunities go, I can definitely agree with that.
Look, probably it's definitely going to be interesting this next year.
Connor said, "Will you guys be streaming your real startup drafts?" Yes, sir. We will.
100%.
So everyone who joins Patreon and joins a league with us, we always stream, the rookie drafts if we've already done the startups. So we will be streaming those real drafts on the channel for sure. So you can see what real drafts will look like. I'm sure that the board will be completely scattered because people will have chances to trade their picks,
Yeah, that's what happened in one of our leagues last year. It was just crazy.
Dave says, plus they are gonna draft another wide receiver pretty early. I can see him. I can see that.
I think so as well. A big wide receiver as well.
MTG is saying Saquon at 6'4" is crazy. Saquon at the 6'4". I'm just looking if I would have taken Saquon over the other running backs on the board. Probably Henry, to be honest. I probably would have preferred Saquon over Derrick Henry. But I mean, yeah, Saquon's hard, man. He just can't stay on the field. It's hard to bet on him in Dynasty. Like, I guess ask anyone who has Saquon, do you feel super secure in him? It's difficult. So you went Michael Carter at the 6'8". I like that pick.
Yeah, you know me. I love Michael Carter. I think he's going to continue to get more work. And if he doesn't, he probably just gets the 1-2 punch, and then there'll be another running back that'll be his spell back. But I like Michael Carter and where he's at with the Jets.
By the way,
the Jets, man.
Fun little stat I was reading the other day on Michael Carter. I believe he was second when it came to missed tackles forced per touch. He was second right behind Javonte Williams this year.
Nice.
So that's pretty interesting. All right, so a lot of running backs going off the board. I'm a little bit frustrated because I assumed we would see other positions, and I was going to try and grab my second running back, but that's what you get for waiting a little bit too long here. It looks like Team 4 is very much going win now strategy.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, you always have one of those guys that's going to go win now strategy in your league.
Yep.
which makes things a lot easier for you. Which makes things
Mhm.
people can fall to you, but he's gonna be scrambling for some picks soon.
Yeah. Pittman, that makes sense, Steven. MTG says I would have taken him over everyone in the 5th round. Oh. Yeah, we view Saquon very differently in Dynasty though, but that's okay. I can see where you're coming from. I can see the perspective. Shuzumaku, Maki, Shu Shuzumaki. Sorry, bro. I'm obviously butchering that.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Team 4 with the win now squad. Tony. I mean, someone just commented that you love New York, and now you're going Tony.
Oh yeah. I look. It was between Tony and somebody else, and I actually want to have this conversation when he gets taken because I think it's a good conversation.
Okay,
I
I'm
think
trying to figure out who it is then. Tony and someone else. I think I know who it is.
You think so? Okay. Once he gets taken, it's definitely going to be. I would like to have
That
that
little chat.
that little chat because I think that's hard for me. That's a toss up because both of these guys, quarterbacks, are in question. What's going to happen? What's the production going to look like? Two different. The way they can be used is different,
Yeah.
But I wonder what will people think. That's
What's
that's why
up,
I'm tossing
Ryan?
up.
Welcome, Ryan. Buy
What's
Apple Pie
happening?
says, would y'all really take Carter over every running back in this class besides Hall? Um, Walker might be the exception. It really depends on landing spots and draft capital. For these
Yeah,
rookie guys,
100%.
draft capital landing spots is going to change a lot for us. All right, Zeke at the 7-6. I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm not going to draft him.
Okay.
I'm going to go with one of my favorite rookies in the class. And actually, I'm not. Now I kind of have to.
Now you kind of have to. We all know who that is. So
Now I kind of have to because he's not going to fall to me if I don't.
what about getting that running back too? You still gonna wait late?
Yeah, I'm still going to wait.
Okay. Okay.
There's just not a clear guy that I would prefer over another. Ah, man, I'm going to have to reach here now because I opened my stupid mouth. I'm going to take Jameson Williams here at the 7-7. I think he
Okay.
would have been available at the 8-6, but
I think so
as
as
my
well.
wide receiver 4, he is my favorite wide receiver in the class. And I think not drafting him because of the ACL, because he's going to miss a couple months in the season, is short-sighted. I think if he didn't have the ACL, we're talking about him with the 101, the 102 in rookie draft. So,
Can you pick it? Good old pick it. Maybe we should
to answer the question about Carter, I like we already answered it. I just realized you already answered it. Draft capital is everything. Sorry. 7 said that he would have snagged him. Okay, so at least that gives me hope knowing that Williams wouldn't have been available if I didn't grab him. Connor says, just curious, since I'm heavily considering joining the Patreon, to stay in the Dynasty League, do you always have to be a part of the Patreon? Yes, sir. So essentially the membership that you pay for is 1, to join the league. 2, you get the fantasy hotline, which is a direct line to Badaki and I, where you can ask us questions. 3, you get our rankings, redraft, dynasty, rookie only. You get our rookie profiles. And then whatever else we release over there on Patreon. It's also just a way to support what we're doing, right? So it's a way to be a part of the league. It's a way to be a part of a league with people who really, really care about Dynasty instead of people who are half in. And the good news is that if you do win the league, then you will receive your entire donations back that year. Whoever wins the league gets their donations back. You can ask Dave. He was a league winner last year. SD Perk isn't here. But those people who won their leagues, all the donations that they gave, because you are supporting our show as well as getting all those things in return as well. So, So yeah,
I know it can be a little bit difficult, maybe thinking about doing a monthly. We do have a yearly option as well if you just want to get the whole yearly out of the question, be committed for this year, and then move forward year by year, and then we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
But just let us know. Send us a message. Let us know any other questions you have, man.
Yep, for sure.
Steve said, "Let me some Jameson." He also said Claypool is some good value there, and that's the guy who I was talking about.
Yeah, I thought that's who you're talking about.
Yeah, Chase Claypool, and I think it's a good conversation. Kadarius Toney or Chase Claypool. Once again, two different guys, two different ways they can be utilized. Kadarius Toney is more of a quick, jittery, in the slot guy, where Claypool, the thought process is he's going to be more contested catch, go down the field, catch the ball.
Right.
But the question is, who is their quarterbacks in the future? Obviously Danny Dimes,
Yeah.
quote unquote, locked in for this year. Chase Claypool, no idea. Malik Willis could be Mason Rudolph, could be Russell Wilson. I think they're back to back right now for me. Like I would be
Yeah.
it'd be really hard.
I have Claypool slightly over Tony, and I just think that's because I worry about Tony staying on the field. But I think they're both pretty close in my rankings. Okay, I'm on the clock now, and I think I'm going to change it to 30 seconds.
Yeah,
because I think we probably need to do that at this point. So let me go ahead and change it to 30 seconds. I'll just let the chat know as well in case anyone's not watching the stream.
Hi, Blazy.
30 secs on the clock. On the clock now. Just so everyone's on the same page. All right, and we will resume here. So, what do I want to do at this point? Should I reach? No, I can't reach on that early.
Careful. Be careful.
Okay.
Be careful. 11 seconds. 10, 9, 8. He's choking now. He's panicking.
So I see D-Hops there, but I think I would rather take a shot. Oh, I just got auto-picked.
Oh. GG's.
Okay.
I told you. It was counting down, brother.
Well, I got Darren Waller.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm going to take my third running back here. Let me just triple check everything that's happening. A guy that I love. We just made a video on him. It's Ramondre Stevenson. I think it's good he had the 8-8.
Okay.
I think we'll take over that backfield.
Someone asked if Pat should be the 7th tight end off the board. Yes, and honestly, I would prefer I would prefer Pat over Darren for the team construction I chose. I just got auto picked, so GG's. Brian says, guys, another excellent draft at Dynasty Land. I just finished watching Toradora for the first time. I feel like this is something like.
I don't even know.
I feel like we're saying something that we don't realize we're saying. I don't know what Toradora is.
I'm going to look it up.
Steven says, how do you guys feel about going to get your guy? Do you focus more on market value, even if there's someone you like better than the market? Yeah, that's a good question. Getting your guy, it always depends on where you have to get him.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, if let's say that Michael Pittman is one of my guys, well, if I'm at the 2-1, I'm not going to draft him here at the 2-1. Or that might not be a good example. If I'm at the 3-1 here, right? I'm not going to draft him here at the 3-1. I'm going to hope that he falls back to me like we did here. So I think it's always relative to where you need to go, to where you need to draft that player.
Yeah, I think for me, I guess the best example is kind of like Elijah Moore, DK Metcalf. Elijah Moore has been my guy ever since obviously he's came into the league.
Right.
Put a lot of trust and faith in him. And this obviously is based on, there's so much factors that go into getting your guy. In DK Metcalf's situation, I feel like it's a little bit unique compared to, Elijah Moore. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather be more secure with my guy, somebody that I believe in, than over, the situation and potentially talent of DK. Two different talents. I do believe Elijah Moore, I've said it, could be a top 15 wide receiver, and DK has already done that. So just really depends on DK's quarterback. So I think that's me getting my guy over based on the situation, I guess. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
so
I think.
Pat at the 9-1, then Knox at the 9-2. There was a question:
Mhm.
would we prefer Fant or Knox? I think we both prefer Knox at this point. Can't deny the quarterback that he's attached to. He would have finished even higher if he didn't miss those games with his
Mhm.
injury. Josh says, any logic or merit to drafting a player or two, depending on draft position, then taking all rookie / picks going forward? You could take the first 3 picks and a stud if you aren't confident in the first. I'm assuming if you're asking if you should just go after first round picks in the startup, and I think it depends on the players that are available on the board. So for me, I would probably be looking at, can I justify taking a 10, 101, 102 over whatever players were on the board? I mean, who was the first player? Burks was the 4-7. I'm gonna have to make my pick here because there's only 30 seconds on the clock, and I don't want to get drafted for. I'm gonna make a pick that's gonna probably make some people angry, and that's okay.
Don't do it. We don't want to make anyone angry.
I'm gonna take Tony Pollard here.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Not just.
I personally think that he's probably going to be the more valuable running back in Dallas this year. Agree to disagree. That's okay.
Let's see. JC out bugging about both guys going over Goddard, which is Pat Frymuth and Dawson Knox. We like Dawson Knox over Goddard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Frymuth over Goddard. I think there could be a conversation of Knox and Goddard. I think they're the same age, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
That doesn't really matter to me. I mean,
situation is different.
Who has the quarterback that I can rely on in fantasy? I mean, Jalen Hurts might give Dallas Goedert,
actually
six
Goddard is a lot older
out of 17 games that are good. So
yeah,
I mean, every tight end is going to be inconsistent, but I just don't trust Jalen Hurts to be the person throwing my tight end the ball. By the way, I think the Eagles, I don't think there might be been like a couple teams that threw the ball less. So purely based off of volume, I mean, this is a pass heavy offense in Buffalo. So agree to disagree, but if that's your guy, that's your guy. Yeah. Davis at the 9-11, Miles Sanders at the 9-2, Christian Watson, and then Baker Mayfield at the 10-2.
Baker Mayfield. Brian said Badaki must have read his Bible. He's got 2 guys named Elijah on the squad. 100% God squad, baby.
That's funny. Amari Cooper in the 10th round. How the mighty have fallen.
Hey, what I'm telling you, man. Have you read the reports today?
No, about Cooper.
About his future with Dallas is basically up in the air. We don't know what that's gonna look like moving forward. Like it's not guaranteed
for a while.
It's not guaranteed he's gonna be on the team next year, or this year technically. So it's very, very interesting.
I feel like that's been the conversation for a while, though.
I feel like the conversation was that they were upset, and Amari Cooper, they could ship out Amari Cooper, but now it's just like, well, it's really uncertain what's gonna happen. Like I feel like the way they worded it was like, we're actually unhappy and we want to move forward.
Interesting. So AJ Dillon at the 10-4. Aaron Jones goes a full round ahead of him. We're probably going to see both Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon going higher now that there's a more likelihood that that Aaron Rodgers is back. Noah Fant goes off the board. Why does it say? Okay, that's weird. Now it says AJ Dillon's available. I'm so confused.
It was probably a very, very late pick where like it just glitched. So it was gonna auto pick that for him, and then it glitched.
All right, I'm gonna take Mike Williams there.
Okay.
Still young enough to be relevant on my team. Maybe he goes into a better situation. Maybe he falls back to the Chargers. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Rose says, what do you guys think of Baker? He obviously has the profile, team investment, and tools, but hasn't put it together. I think he's a competitor and could put it together in his contract year. I don't know, man. You went Schultz there?
Yeah, I'll go tight end here. I was going to go Schultz. He's either Schultz or a young guy. I think he gets re-signed to Dallas, and he's going to be a big part of this this offense. Dallas has always had, it's felt like a relevant tight end in the mix. So,
yeah, Baker. I mean, we're talking about a guy who might not be. The team might not commit to him after this year. So it's really hard to know what to think of Baker. He's probably one of the biggest unknowns in Dynasty right now. Kenny says, I have Javonte, Mitchell, Damian Harris at running back. Would Stevenson be worth giving up the 201 for? I wouldn't give up the 201 for Stevenson personally. I think
neither would I.
There's too many wide receivers that I love at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Rose says, even if he finishes as a middling quarterback 2 in 2022, I still think the Browns could stick with him as their franchise quarterback. I guess they could. It's always a possibility. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year. I just don't think he's shown enough for me to be excited about him in Dynasty. Can you explain why you picked Tony Pollard over Miles Sanders? Yes, I can. We actually have a Miles Sanders buy or sell video, and that's going to give you the best explanation. That is a video that's about 9 minutes long, and it gives you all the reasons why I love Miles Sanders, but absolutely hate his situation. I don't see him reaching his peak, so that would be the best place to check that. Sam Howe at the 11-3. It's on our page. It's called Miles Sanders buy or sell. Brian says, I'm terrified of guys like Deshaun Watson, Ridley. Like, you could have that draft pick evaporate into thin air if they don't play it all this season. No chance he would touch them. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. Sam Howe at the 11-3, and then Allen Robinson, you're on the board, Badaki.
Yeah, I'm on the board. I'm just thinking of high upside players. I think I'm going to still keep it young. I know this guy will probably still be available in a couple rounds, but I'm just going to take him because I don't like anyone over him. I'll take Nico Collins. I really like what he's doing. I think he's going to continue to produce there in the Texans.
That's surprising.
Yeah, you look at these other wide receivers, Rondell Moore, do you go Thielen there? Do you go Roberto, OBJ? And then it's just a bunch of mix. Maybe Jacoby Myers has a conversation, but I like what Nico Collins is doing over there, and I think he will continue to be at least a good wide receiver too.
Okay.
For him to be my wide receiver 5 on my team, I'll take a chance on him.
Okay. Christopher Simmons says, I'm wondering why I'm hesitating on moving Sony Michel for 304 and 306 in this year's rookie-only SuperFlex draft. Sony Michel for the 304, 306. I mean, what's your team direction, man? Are you a win now squad? Because maybe Sony falls into a situation, and that's maybe why you're hesitant to move him.
Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, maybe I would take the chance on the picks and just hope that I hit on one of those players.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I would take the picks.
You get 2 third-round picks. Who's going to be that guy in that third round?
Yeah.
You think about it, and it's not. I think of Tyler Algier or Algier. I don't know how you really say his name. Khalil Shakir, if you want to take him. Zamir White, James Cook can go in the third. Just really depends on what your draft looks like and who you can get in the third. These could be some high upside players that you could potentially take a chance on over Sony. And how old Sony? What, 26, 20, 25?
Not guaranteed to get workload.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Day says the Lockett hate has gone too far. Yeah, I think Lockett should definitely be drafted this round. I feel like Lockett is way more reliant on Russell Wilson than DK, and maybe that's why he's falling.
And I think the reason why he fell is because of, Russ. Russ is probably not going to be there any longer, and I think we're going to see that moving forward, in my opinion.
But the thing is, I just don't think that the Seahawks are going to trade Russ. I don't think it makes sense for them. I don't think they're going to get back what they want. Pete Carroll's still there. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not sure. Maybe Russ wants it, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yeah. Look, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. I think if Russ wants out, we've seen this trend with these quarterbacks right now. If once they want out, they're going to get out. If that's what it feels like. Besides Deshaun, but that's because
I was about to say, what about Deshaun? What about Aaron Rodgers?
His situation
this isn't the
different.
NBA. It's not that easy to move.
Aaron Rodgers has people calling him for years. All
right, I'm on the clock here. I think I'm going to look at the running back position. And I think I'm going to take Brian Robinson here. I know James Cook, people like James Cook, but I'm just looking for someone who has the pedigree at Bama to maybe get a starting job. Maybe the real GMs are more excited about him than we are in Dynasty. So I'm going to take a chance on him there. I know that's probably early, but just an exercise here.
Just an exercise. Sometimes you got to exercise it.
Brian says, are people drafting Burks, Wilson, London in the 4th because they think they'll hit the next Chase/JJ? Seems way too early for rookies. Yeah, I think I
think so.
I do think the rookies are a little bit too high right now. I have to admit, I do think they're a little too high. But if you want to get your guy, I don't think that. Let me say this: I don't think Wilson or London would have been available by the time that these guys picked next. So that being in mind, maybe they wanted to go for the unknown. But I mean, capital is going to be huge, and landing spot's going to be huge for sure.
I think I know who you thought I was going to take, right?
Who, Garrett?
Maybe not. I thought Garrett was like, oh, don't take Wait, are you talking about Jerome Ford, Garrett? Yeah. Sorry, man.
Connor says Russ said he's happy in Seattle, although he could just be saying that, so take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. Everyone always says they're happy, and then their team released lists of players of teams that they would be happy to be traded to. I mean,
you just never know what can happen. So like,
you never know, but it's just so much more difficult.
We were all.
To make
I mean,
these
think
trades.
about last year. We were all shitting ourselves about Aaron Rodgers. He's gone. There's no way. There's no way. He's not talking to them. And then it didn't happen. Like, but that's the thing. The whole Russ conversation. Oh, Russ is a good guy. And then last minute, actually, I just really want to leave now, guys. It's out.
Right.
Something crazy like that, but very interesting. Yeah, Jerome Ford is my running back 2 on this year. In this rookie class, I love him. I love the upside. I took, why not take a chance on one of these rookies? I didn't talk about that. I'm gonna take a chance.
At this point, yeah, take a shot on people that you believe in. Although, to be fair, the fact that I passed up on Rashad Penny, that was probably a bad move.
I'm just gonna take a shot on another quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers leave, he is a starter. So I like where he's going. A lot of talks about him he could even get traded. So we'll see. I like Jordan Love and I guess his dual threat ability.
Call that dual ability. No, we don't. We don't call it that.
Dual ability.
Okay.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for the sub. Appreciate that. Micah, I believe was the name. Did I get that right?
Michael Carter. Yeah,
thanks for the sub, Micah. That means a lot.
Kind of like Michael Parsons.
Did you see him on Rich Eisen show? That was pretty entertaining.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Josiah says I would have taken AJ Dillon, but it skipped over me. Yeah, that was weird because I thought you had AJ Dillon, and then it took Fant. I don't know. That was strange. Jerry says, oh wait, sorry. Brian says somebody fire Team 12. Cowboys players in the first round is against the rules, right? Oh my gosh, I actually like Team 12's team.
Are you a Giants fan, Brian? You gotta love it. Or maybe you just hate the Cow. I feel like
everyone except for Cowboys fans hates the Cowboys.
100%.
Let's be honest.
Exactly. Like oh gosh. And if you're a Cowboys fan in here, I'm sorry, but let's just be honest.
Jerry says I see the worries about Hurts, but do the Steelers have a quarterback? Goddard has real top 3 tight end upside. Showed it towards the end of the year. No, they don't have a quarterback, but I would prefer the unknowns at quarterback than knowing that my quarterback is tied to Jalen Hurts. Again, not disrespecting Hurts. I definitely see people's perspectives, but it's just something that we see a little bit differently. Jason says the Russ rumor started because there were trade rumors, and he gave the Seattle Seahawks a list of teams, that he would waive his no trade clause for.
Okay.
Russ definitely wants to leave. See, we got difference of opinions. Jason says he doesn't. Dave says he does. He wants to be in a bigger market. Brian says
come to
Ravens.
New York, Russ. Sit out for a year and then come to New York. Huh?
Honestly, who knows at this point?
Ravens. We have a Ravens fan, like our really close friends. One of our really close friends of ours is a Ravens fan. Sean, I have competing teams that I just need a QB1 to take me over the top. Just pulled a crazy trade. Looking for thoughts. Lamar Jackson, 23 second, the 408 for the 103, the 106, the 23 first. Shane, by the way. Oh boy, this is a big one. You just need a quarterback.
I'm only making this pick. I know people are going to hate this, but I'm only making this pick because I'm hoping that he's going to leave in free agency. If Njoku leaves in free agency, then I will be very excited about him. So I'm assuming that he will, hopefully.
Give me a second. I'll come back to your question there, brother. Shane's question. I don't know if you want to read it.
Yeah, okay. I have a competing team that just needs a quarterback one to take me over the top. Just pulled a crazy-ass trade looking for thoughts. Lamar Jackson, 23 second, 408, and for the 103, 106, and the 23 first.
Just looking for those.
That's interesting. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's gonna. To be honest, you're not gonna know who won that trade for a couple of years, because we'll only know who the the 103 and the 106 are going to be, in the next 3 to 4 years. And then also, who is that 2023 first going to be? Is this Superflex? If it's a Superflex league, I'm okay with it.
Maybe.
It's a one quarterback league?
Well, it says he just needs a QB1. So maybe it's a one quarterback league. I could be wrong.
If it's a one quarterback league, then it's hard to overpay. If it's Superflex, and I think you can justify it, I wouldn't have wanted to give up that many picks, though. That many firsts. It's Superflex. I think you can justify it.
Right.
I just personally would have preferred to have not given up that many firsts. I don't want to hedge my future that heavily, but still, there's no guarantee that the first that you trade away you would have hit with anyway, so I can understand.
I'm okay with getting Lamar if you're on the side of Lamar. I'm okay with that, and just once he gets that longer contract, I think I think is a guaranteed. I think you're okay with that,
Shane says, I still have the 107 and 3 first next year. Then, I mean, that's a different conversation. If you have the entire draft locked down, then you can afford to make some moves. Jerry says, I have JT, Saquon, and Mitchell. Are you trading Mitchell for Dalvin? No, I don't think I am. Just because Dalvin's already on his second contract. Obviously, he's going to be the more valuable running back this year. That's a really difficult one because they're pretty much back to back in my rankings. They are back to back in my rankings. So I think what matters is deciding what your team goal is. Do you want to win this year? Maybe you take the chance on Cook. Otherwise, I think I might lean towards a player who's not on a second contract. It's close. Really close.
Yeah, man.
All right, last round here.
I was gonna take Melvin for the lulz. Damn.
Why not Melvin?
Why not Melvin? I'll take another tight end here. Let's go Hunter Henry here. Mac Jones, you love the guy. I love the guy. Why not? I mean, my guy got a lot of freaking picks, say that much. 7 said he was just drafting for value.
Brian says, if I have a mid pick 4th to 6th in startup, should I just wait on running back and get like Akers, Dobbins, Barkley types in mid rounds and stack up quarterback / wide receiver early? I love doing that personally in Dynasty startups. I would always prefer quarterbacks and wide receivers over running backs because of the longevity of them. However, a lot of people disagree with me there. So I think it depends on what you prefer to do. But for me, I'm pretty happy with the. It's so much easier to trade for a running back than it is to trade for an elite wide receiver or an elite quarterback. Like running backs are much more movable in the trade market, and so yeah. Anyway, that's why I would be comfortable with it. But let's do some draft grades.
Yeah, end the draft there, brother. Mm-hmm. I'll start it off, Ryan.
I'm just gonna quickly let people know we are doing draft grades on YouTube now.
Oh, what a day.
All right, so you're going to start with Ryan here.
Yeah. All right. Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Jameis Winston. We saw him on the bike, so why not? Or on the treadmill. Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Hunter Renfrow, Tyler Lockett, Josh Palmer, Cedric Wilson. Then you have Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Walker, James Conner, Keyshawn Vaughn with Pat the Dragon. I think this is a really good team. Um, I think you know how we feel about Isaiah Spiller. We're not as high on him. Kenneth
Yeah.
Walker, I think, is good there at the 7-1. I think I still would have taken a chance on someone like a Josh Jacobs, at least over Kenneth Walker potentially. But I think, and maybe potentially Alvin Kamara, depending on which way your team was going. I like your wide receiver room. I like your quarterback room. I love the tight end. I think that my biggest question mark is where are these running backs gonna hit, you know? And James Conner and Keyshawn Vaughn, I feel like if James Conner gets re-signed, cool. You have a decent running
It's the
back one,
11th
hopefully.
round, though.
Yeah, and then Keyshawn Vaughn, I think is just kind of I don't think anything's gonna happen. So you're really banking on Spiller and Walker to be something for your team here. And I don't
Right.
know if they can be that for your team immediately.
Right.
Either way, I think it's a good team. I'm gonna give it a B minus purely based on the running backs. I think running backs are really important for me.
Yeah.
But it's a good team. Really, really good pieces.
Yeah, it's also a little bit confusing what the direction is. We have
Mhm.
our first 5 picks look very much win now. I mean, I would have taken Higgins over Cup. So if you're doing that, I'm assuming you're a win now team. Then we take the young running backs instead of the guys like Kamara who can help us win now. So it is a little bit confusing with the direction.
Mm.
And again, just to say this before we continue, these are our opinions. Doesn't mean we're right. Doesn't mean we're wrong. Dynasty isn't black and white. So if you disagree, that's completely okay. We welcome differing opinions. All right, Dave, Herbert, Lawrence, Jimmy G. Your running backs are Monty, Kamara, Kyron Williams, Rashad White, and Jerrion Ely. Wide receivers are Debo Samuel, Drake London, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sky Moore, Bobby Trees. Tight ends is Knox and Weidemeyer. I like this team. There's a couple things I would have done differently personally. For me, I do love Lawrence, but there were other quarterbacks on the board I would have preferred to go with. Fields was off the board. Watson was off the board. That would have been so good for you if Watson fell. But I probably would have preferred to go with Russell Wilson instead of Trevor Lawrence at this point. But that's just a very small nitpick that I would have made. Debo Samuel at the 3-2. I think it's proper value. I'm just not someone who wants to invest in Debo Samuel this early, knowing his injury history. So I would have taken T. Higgins there. Drake London at the 4-11. If he lands in a good spot, we could be looking at that as a good pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 5-2. I'm okay with that if that's the direction you want to go. I think this is a good team. I really like the way that you still got good running backs late. You didn't force the running backs early. I still like that you have a pretty decent running back room. I love me some Sky Moore at the 10-11. So this is a good team. I'm going to give this a B+. There's just a couple things I would have done differently personally.
Okay. Garrett Brother with the hacks. Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Sam Howell. Love the room. T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Mooney, David Bell, Jacoby Myers, Russell Gage. Then you got Brees Hall, Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, Rashad Penny with Trey McBride, and Irv Smith. I think it's clear that you wanted to go somewhat young here. I think it's clear that you wanted to go young. For me, is this wide receiver room. I think actually it's fine for me. Yeah, I like your wide receiver room. I think David Bell and Garrett Wilson. I feel really confident. My wide receiver one against these rookies, amongst these rookies, and then David Bell still at the A10 there. Who was going before him or after him. I think I still take a David Bell over Hunter Renfrow potentially. I see Gabriel Davis there. Amari Cooper, Mike Williams, Juju. I'm okay with that actually. So I'm okay with David Bell going there. I think Garrett Wilson, I think is the biggest question mark. Do you go Garrett Wilson, St. Brown over St. Brown and Pittman? I don't know. But I
Yeah.
do think I think it's good. I think this is where he's potentially go depending on landing spot because I mean for me he's my wide receiver one in the rookie class. And then your running backs. Brees Hall at the 5-3. I would have taken Elijah Mitchell, Travis Etienne, Cam Akers, Michael Carter over Brees Hall at the moment just because I guess what do we know once again? Once we know landing spot, maybe the conversation is different. But Josh Jacobs, I think, is great value. Damian
Mm-hmm.
Harris is great value. And Rashad Penny, fantastic. So I think this team overall is really, really good. I'm gonna give it a B plus purely because of those question marks. But I love T, Deshaun. You know, I like all those guys, all the other guys.
Yep. All right. Salmon. 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 All right. So our quarterbacks are This is a win now team. Our quarterbacks are Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Corral. Running backs are CMC, Henry, Chubb, Madison, Gordon. Wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, Juju, Allen Robinson, Christian Kirk, DJ Chark. Tight end is Kittle. So I like this team. Again, I don't know. We don't know how long Aaron Rodgers is going to play for. I like that you got Corral kind of waiting on deck, seeing if he's going to become something. I like this team. The only issue with this being a win now team is your wide receivers aren't very strong, right? Michael Thomas, not a guy that Badaki and I really like, not a guy that we really want on our teams. I probably would have taken Renfro. I know that sounds crazy, but I probably would have taken Renfro over Michael Thomas. I feel like he's a more secure option at this point. Amari Cooper, I probably would have had taken a chance on him as well over Michael Thomas. I just don't know that he's going to. I mean, let's keep in mind that he had the most accurate quarterback ever, throwing only him the ball. I think all of us are focusing on that a little bit too much at this point of his career. So that's just my opinion. I don't think the wide receiver room is strong enough, and it is difficult to trade for wide receivers. So that is my only qualm here. I think this is a B plus team. If you tried to go win now, you did it really, really well, but I would have preferred a much stronger wide receiver room. Instead of getting Derrick Henry here, you grab a more solidified wide receiver, and then you can still grab Chubb. You could have had Zeke Elliott here, so just some small little tweaks I would have done, but I still like the team.
Okay. 1.6. Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, Zeke, AJ Dillon, James Robinson, Cordell Patterson, Jalen Hurts. Then you have Desmond Ridder, Carson Strong. Interesting. Mark Andrews, Treylon Burks, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, OBJ. I'm not in love with this team. I like the first 4 picks. I'm a believer in Jalen Hurts. Mark Andrews is decent, even though I would rather take somebody else there. Treylon Burks, I think he could be the consensus 101 depending on where he goes. And then it goes to the running. So let me start off with the running back room. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. Running back room is decent. I like Dalvin, Jonathan Taylor, Zeke. Where can you go differently here? Do you go Miles that early? Do you go Ramondre that early? Kyron Williams that early? I think Zeke is still good. Is decent there to be your running back 3, or you can go a wide receiver, Pickens, Claypool, something like that. Zeke is a weird place right now.
Yeah.
So your running back room is okay. Then your wide receiver room, Treylon Burks, Brandon Ayuk, and then D Hop. D Hop, I get it with the value. Maybe I would have taken a chance on somebody else, David Bell, but it's still good value. I think my biggest question mark is your quarterback room. Ridder and Strong, I don't think any of these guys could or will start in next season. So who is your quarterback to? That's my thought process. And I think that is the downfall on this team is that. So for me, I'm not in love with the team. I think you have good pieces. Even though you have Jonathan Taylor, I think this is crazy. I think this is like a B minus, C plus. I'm not in love with it at all.
Yeah, and I think Emiliano, if you're watching this later, I think if our conversation is correct, you're relatively new to Dynasty.
Okay.
So I think it's more just knowing where these players should go and maybe defining your direction a little bit more. In SuperFlex, you really want some strong quarterbacks that you can build off of. And ideally, you want to build around younger talent. So it's kind of all over the place. But it's not a terrible team. I just think maybe practice a little bit more before your draft, because I think ADP is crucial to know.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
And
Yeah.
it's hard. It's just hard. Sorry, that's all I want to say. Like, it's hard to be. The 1-6 is interesting, but like,
Yeah.
where else can you go outside of Zeke? There's still a lot of question marks unless you go really, really young.
Yeah.
Same thing with D Hop. The talent, but do you go D Hop and wait 1 or 2 years and then he's gone, or do you go with another talent you sit on for and hoping that he kind of takes off? But that's our thought process.
Trippy said, "Have you guys ever given a C or a lower? The lowest I heard y'all say is B flat or B minus. Most of the time people draft well enough to warrant a B minus. There have been times where I've given as low as a D minus.
Yeah, a D before.
That was in, and it's hard to do because we just want to give our real opinion. But that was actually in one of our follower leagues. I gave a D minus, and that was on a bonus podcast. But on live streams as well, we've given C minuses, C's, but you have to do pretty bad to get there. And again, it's just our opinion. So who are we to say? Okay, Josiah. Your wide receivers are Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Terry Scary, McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Cortland Sutton. I think Sutton's pretty good value there at the 12.5. Running backs, Swift, Eckler, Aaron Jones, Edmonds, Hubbard, and Herbert. So you've got pretty good wide receivers, pretty good running backs, but this is where your team takes a hit, right? The quarterbacks, Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett, Davis Mills. You are really, in order for this to be a successful team going forward, you really need one of these quarterbacks to be top 12. And I think Wilson is the most likely, but there's still no guarantee that happens, So I would like to enter my startup draft with more solidified running back or quarterbacks at this point. I think it's really, really hard to win leagues, or even to build around teams when you don't have that super flex quarterback, those two quarterbacks kind of sorted. So again, who knows? Pickett could end up being a start. It's really difficult to say, but I do think quarterbacks is a real weak point for you here. Noah Fant at the 10.5 I think is pretty decent value. He's got all the athletic tools to succeed. I'm just not a fan of getting Aaron Jones. I'm not a fan of getting Devontae Adams. These guys who have kind of reached their peak, and they're still going to be good for the next couple of years, but I can't really build around them. So this is a B minus for me. B minus, almost C plus territory, but I think there's enough that I really, really like here. Again, the quarterbacks are just so crucial in my mind. So, yeah.
All right, Zachary. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, and Danny Dimes. Wow, what a great quarterback there. This is an A+ team for me now, Joe. Joe Moneybag Mixon, Say, Lenny Singletary, Hunt, James Cook with Travis Kelce and Tyler Higbee. I think this is a team where, you're back and forth. You have your young, talented people. It looks like a hybrid. You have your young, talented people with JJ, CD, Mixon, kind of mixed up in there with Singletary mixed up in there. And then you have your one rookie with James Cook. So that's kind of like the younger team. And then your older team is Russ, Kelce, Evans, Tannehill with Thielen, the Higbees, all those guys. I feel like it's half and half. So look, this is a good team overall. For me, your first 4 picks are great. Then this is where I say I would like to just wait on quarterbacks after the drop, because I think the value that you couldn't have got for another position would have been a lot more crucial. For me, I would have loved Hollywood Brown. I would have loved Cam Akers, and maybe Zach will disagree, but you can get Michael Carter, you can get Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Bateman, Jerry Jeudy instead of Kelce, because the thought process is that Kelce is going to be gone in the next 2 years.
So come on, next 2 years.
You never know. I mean, you never know. You said to trade him away in one of the videos.
I said to trade him away, but no, I'm not. I don't think he's going to be irrelevant after 2 years.
I think that's a thought process for me. I think I would rather get a younger tight end in the late rounds. You could have gotten McBride at the 10 over Daniel Jones, for example. Could have gotten a Schultz or a Fant at the 10, and then maybe gotten a different position at the 5-9. That's just my thought process. That's the way I like to build my team. But other than that, I think it's a really good, solid team. I like the pieces. These guys hit Saquon, Mike Evans, whoever Mike Evans quarterback is going to be, Danny Dimes. I think you have a good team. I give this a B plus. I think it could be almost an A minus, but a B plus for me.
Okay.
I really like the team in general, though.
All right, Trippy. Our team is Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Algier. Our wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Jerry Jeudy, George Pickens, Amari Cooper, Rondell Moore, Ron the Don, Alex Pierce. Our quarterbacks are Tua, Cousins, Wentz. Tight ends are Goddard and Likely. Okay, so this is why I don't really like going RB early, because I don't get the quarterbacks that I really love. I'm not really able to get. I can get good wide receivers, but not the outside of Brown, not the ones that I'm truly in love with. So for me, it's just I draft a little bit differently in a dynasty startup. It doesn't mean this isn't a good team, because obviously you have great talent. I mean, who can argue with Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Brown? But outside of that, it feels like we have to, taking Cousins at the 8-3. Yeah, you kind of have to do that because you don't have a quarterback too. As much as I love Tua, I don't want him being my first quarterback. I want him being my second one. So I like your wide receivers. I like the wide receiver room in A.J. Brown, Hollywood, Jerry Jeudy, George Pickens. But again, Hollywood and Jeudy are more guys that I kind of want them to be my third wide receivers. I don't want to have to rely on them as much. But I do love the Pickens pick here at the 7-10 as well. Goddard's good value. So yeah, again, the quarterbacks is really the biggest weak point, and I prefer a stronger wide receiver room, but I think there's enough there. So quarterbacks is what I'm going to hound on. So I'm going to give this a B flat.
Okay. Tupac Shakur, Trey Lance, Malik Willis, Baker Mayfield. Then you got Kyle Pitts with Cole Kmet, Gibson, Akers, Zamir White, Kenneth Gainwell, and then your wide receivers are Devonta Smith, Claypool, Olave, Davis, Justin Ross, and Curtis Samuel. I like your wide receiver room. I think I like all those players for me. Then your running back room, Gibson, Akers. I think it falls short on depth. I think maybe Kenneth Gainwell could get some work this year, so it's okay with the RB3, essentially. Your quarterbacks, question mark because of Baker. I would have taken and Davis and Malik Willis. Excuse me. Do you go Malik Willis or do you go Kirk Cousins there? I think I still go Malik potentially, but like, what's the thought process is we don't know. This is why this is question mark. We don't know where he's going to go, if he's going to be a starter. Hypothetically, he's a starter. Great pick. Kyle Pitts at the 2-2. I think you know how I feel. You either get Kyle Pitts or in the first or second round, and then you don't get a tight end at all. So I think it's okay to get a tight end there. But just imagine what your room could have looked like. You could have had A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, Swifty, Waddle. That's my thought process, because you still got a Cole Kmet there at the 11-11. Maybe you get a Dallas Goedert at the 9-11 and get rid of Gabriel Davis. Hypotheticals. That's just my thought process. I think I would rather have that over Kyle Pitts, potentially more depth in those positions. But I get it. You want to solidify your tight end room. I think this is a good team. I'll get this a B plus.
Okay. I don't think we've given an A today. This is going to be difficult.
It's going to be, 7 could be there. You never know.
Maybe 7. All right. Dak Prescott, Derek Carr. Our running backs are Javonte Williams, Clyde, Miles Sanders, Ronald Jones. To be fair, like with the running backs, I think you did a really good job of getting like low risk, high reward type picks. I mean, Ronald Jones is someone that I'll be talking about on one of our videos this week. And Miles Sanders at the 9-12, pretty good value there. Wide receivers, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Calvin, Watson, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, John Mechie. Tight ends are Hawkinson and Brevin Jordan. So quarterback room, Derek Carr as my quarterback too. That's not awful. It could be worse. He's not the ideal quarterback too, but it could be worse. The running back room outside of Javonte, there are question marks, but I like the upside that you went for. I'm just not a big Deontay Johnson guy. And I don't know who you should have taken over him. I'm just not a massive Deontay Johnson guy. I don't think that he's going to have the same type of production without Big Ben. Uh, Ridley, you can definitely justify him at the 6'1", but then Christian Watson, I just think the community is way too high on Watson. I get it. He's 6'5" and he's super quick, but there's so many other things that he doesn't do well as a wide receiver. So I think there was a lot of other wide receivers that I would have taken a chance on still available, still on the board. So I like this team, but again, there's a couple things I would have done differently or a couple things that are lacking. Maybe I would have done differently, but I prefer a better quarterback too. And then I just don't understand the Christian Watson getting him that high. I think Sleeper's ADP is way too high for him, but I could be wrong. So yeah, this is a B- for me.
Okay.
So who is the best team then? Like, I'm not sure that there's a clear best team.
For me, if I had to do best team, just based on me looking at their team and me remembering what they did, I mean, I like Dave and Garrett's team the most.
Okay.
Good quarterbacks, good wide receivers. Dave has the better running backs, I feel.
I think I would go with Garrett's team if I
older.
had to choose one, but I like Dave's team as well.
I think it's one of those two. I think like they kind of hit everywhere in good value, good position. They got a mix of rookies.
The thing is, Dave has a
mix
lot
of
more
older.
unknowns though.
Dave for me feels like he has more knowns compared to like Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, David Bell. Those are the unknowns.
That's what I
for
said.
me.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Dave. I heard Dave. My bad.
I meant to say Garrett has more unknowns. Maybe.
Okay,
I didn't say that.
That's the thing. Garrett will have the more unknowns, where Dave has the more
But
solidified.
to be fair, Garrett has Watson and Dave has Lawrence, and I think we both prefer Watson by a mile. So that is a pretty big separator there, in my opinion.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think they're both good teams.
Let's give it to them both. All right.
Wow!
Shout out to Dave
Congratulations,
and
huh?
Garrett for winning mock drafters of the night. Let's see. There's a couple comments. Connor says, "What are your thoughts on the trade rumors about Jimmy G not being traded?" I honestly think the reason those rumors are out is because they're not getting the capital they want for him. I think Trey Lance is going to be the starter. It just doesn't make sense. That would be one of the biggest epic fails from a team ever, to give up what they gave up to go to 3 and then just keep Jimmy G, even though they said Jimmy G was a problem. You know what I mean? Trippy says, not to argue with you or anything, but when has Kirk Cousins become a weak point? I normally draft quarterback early because quarterbacks last. I normally draft quarterback early, but quarterbacks last a while, so I don't think I would be in trouble with my quarterbacks in the mock, in my opinion. Look, I don't think we consider him a weak point. He's just not the ideal quarterback too, for me, especially when there's already talks about Minnesota not being sure of him being the future. So where does he go? I mean, we can't predict that. We don't know if that's going to happen, but if he does leave Minnesota, where does he go? To the Panthers? There was a talk about that. Is he successful in Carolina with the weapons that are there? Hard to say. So it's not that he's a weak point. I would love Kirk Cousins as my quarterback 3 in Dynasty. I don't necessarily want to rely on him though. So it's just an opinion.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I would say on that Jimmy G incident, I won't be surprised if he stays, personally.
That would be like,
that's all I gotta say. I mean, yeah, it may be stupid, but I won't be surprised if he stays.
Colossally, that's not even a word. That would just be one of the dumbest. How do you explain that to 49er fans, right? Because what was the entire conversation last year when they moved up to 3? Well, Jimmy's not the guy. Jimmy can't carry us to a Super Bowl. We need a player who is not like Jimmy. We need a player who's more mobile, a player who can do this, who can do that. And
Jimmy
now you're telling me you drafted the wrong guy and you're not going to give him a chance to even show when you gave up so much draft capital for him? That would be like the biggest L a franchise has taken in a while to do that.
I think Jimmy exceeded all expectations of 49er fans of what he did this year. And
but was Jimmy really the reason they made it as far as they did? I mean,
he's part of the team.
No way. I think they made it in spite of him.
No, I
Okay,
think he
agreeing to
helped
disagree here.
contribute. I think he helped contribute to get them to the places they needed to go.
You know what?
That's all I gotta
You
say.
put Kirk Cousins on that team. Do they make it to the Super Bowl? I don't know. Just
Has
saying.
Kirk Cousins made it past a playoff game
Has he
or
been
have
on the
made it to the playoff?
49ers? Has he been on the 49ers?
He has some talent around them though.
Nah, the 49ers are a much better, more complete team. Look, I think the Niners made it in spite of Jimmy. Could be wrong. That's just my opinion. But yeah, like Dave said, draft capital alone, what you gave up for him. By the way, if you don't start Trey Lance this year, you're telling the entire league that you believe in Jimmy G over Trey Lance, and you're completely like Trey Lance's capital of what you could trade him for dips as it's like the Russian ruble right now. I mean, it just dips as far as it can go, and that is one of the worst investments maybe we have seen
right now
in the past 2 years if that happens. So
this guy, man,
look,
you know the Russian ruble.
Jimmy G is a good quarterback, but I think they made it in spite of him. I don't think it was because of him. I mean, his best attribute was being able to get Debo the ball. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Look, we'll see. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I think Trey Lance is the answer. I just won't be surprised if Jimmy G is the starter for a couple games next year if he doesn't get traded. That's all I'm saying.
I just find it so ironic that last year the conversation was Jimmy G's not the guy. He can't take us there. And now we're like, well, we're just going to hold on to him. That would just completely counteract everything that they did to get Trey Lance. I wanted to tell people about a video that we just released. Essentially, it was actually a suggestion from Connor in our Discord. You can, give suggestions on what videos you want to see. And we just made a video where Badaki and I both broke down one of our dynasty teams for you guys, showed you the direction we were last year and the moves that we've made to get where we are this year. We talk you through trades and reasonings as to why. So check that out. I just pasted that link in the comments. Check that out if you'd like to. Is there anything else that we should talk about that we should plug?
No, I think the last thing is patreon.com/fantasylandfam. If you guys want to support the show, unlock our rankings, and play fantasy football with Zach and myself, super simple, super easy. Patreon.com/fantasylandfam. It's a way to support the show and to join the community and be in competition between Zach and I throughout the season in a redraft perspective or in a dynasty perspective. If you want to do both, there's an option for both.
Yeah.
So check that out. We have a lot of good people here in the community that have drafted with us today that are signed up. Dave, Trippy, I'm pretty sure signed up. I don't know who. Maybe Ryan, I want to say, also is part of that.
No.
Sorry if you guys aren't. I haven't said your name and you're here in the draft or on the live, but yeah, these guys have been a great support and really fun. Dave won the league last year, so that's really exciting. So come through. Let us know if you have any questions as well.
Yeah, Chris was asking about Miami's quarterback, De'Aaron King. I honestly think, and I hate to say this because I want everyone to chase their dreams, but he's not a quarterback. Really, really good athlete. He needs to transition to a different position because he's not going to be a quarterback in the NFL.
I remember in the beginning of last year, he was like, "Man, this guy King. He could be really good." And then,
he was supposed to take the leap this year, but he absolutely face planted.
He fell off hard.
He's not a quarterback in the NFL. That's just my opinion, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he's going to push to be a quarterback, but no one's going to draft him for that position. Not after what happened this year. All right, guys. Huge love. The only other thing that I would say is we do have a redraft channel where we cover redraft content. We cover DFS on there. We cover free agency. So I pasted that link in the chat as well. But that is all for today. We will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, rookie mock. Enjoy the rest of your day.